but these guys killed it.
I also want to say this is the total mark in me. Adam Cole knows just when to do the Adam Cole baby to the crowd. He really does. And that's a total mark thing to say, but man, he like when everybody's just getting when everybody's kind of resting on their heels, everybody's kind of sitting on their hands a little bit. It kind of gets down, and then he just stands up and he does the Adam Cole baby, and it just psychs everybody right back up. Jason, what you give it?
I gave it 4 stars, and I'll say this. I agree with everything what you guys said, and I'll kind of piggyback on this. This is where I love the fact that you have like Adam Cole and Aleister Black in this kind of match where literally you really didn't know who was going to win this match, so it was back and forth, back and forth. Personally, I wanted Adam Cole to win this match. I think he's an amazing talent, and you can do so much more with him. God forbid you haven't seen Aleister Black in God knows how long. And, if you've seen Aleister Black, just, make sure that he can come out and just let everybody else know that he's okay. We're looking for him at this point.
Unless you're looking to hire somebody for a job and he comes in, because don't hire him because he has tattoos.
Outside of that,
he's pretty cool.
4-star match. And the fact, I'll say this, the fact that it was a no disqualification match, Extreme Rules match, I kind of expected that Undisputed Era would jump in and give Adam Cole the win. The fact that they didn't do it and you put Aleister Black over, that's kudos. It's good shit.
All right. And last up, we have, for me, well, I'll go last. Jason, what did you give Andrade Cien Almas, who was the champion, versus Johnny Gargano?
Like I said, to me, it starts from start to finish, before bell to bell. I need to see the intro, the whole shebang. This is a 5-star match. And it wasn't even before the match. The match itself, I thought, was absolutely amazing. Where you have Andrade really kind of stepping into his own. This to me was like the Andrade match where I was like, okay, you can put him on the main roster and you can really start to get good matches from him. This is the match I thought that you can get Andrade on the board. Gargano was absolutely amazing, obviously, on the back end, but then obviously when you have Ciampa just coming in and making his mark, I'm pretty sure it's a year later, but even if it's not a year later, you have to kind of put Ciampa into this.
Huh?
Yes, this is a 5-star match. The match itself was at least 4.5. You bring in Ciampa in, that's a quarter of a point. You do the shit beforehand, that's a quarter of a point. 5 stars.
Zach, what'd you give it?
Yeah, this is 5 stars, 100%. I don't know if it's my first 5-star. I could have given Shinsuke and Sammy 5 stars. I might have. But this is the best match on NXT TakeOver that we've done so far, besides that Sami Zayn and Nakamura one. And these guys, I remember watching this live, and I couldn't even stay in my seat. I was watching it on my kitchen from TV, and I had to stand up. This match was getting me so hyped, and nothing changed. It had been 2 years since I'd seen the match the first time, and I had not gone back and revisited it. And this is the beginning
of the run.
Ciampa and Gargano, and just the work rate here was just outrageous. The match just from bell to bell was 5 stars for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 5-star match. I would almost, if I was being a total fucking snob, I would knock off a quarter star just because of the Candice LeRae thing, her interference in the match, but really all she was doing was defending him, so I didn't take it off. That is a really Marky thing to say. But I agree with Zach wholeheartedly. I think that this is the best match. This is even better than Nakamura Zayn, if you ask me. And this is the best match that we've seen on takeovers since we started.
To this point.
I know there's one coming up that
I was going to say, wait.
There's one coming up that is maybe my favorite match of all time. But this is a match I've probably watched this match 5 times. Like, there were beats in this match that I was watching today. I was like, oh, I remember this now. Even though I usually only watch it when it's like 2:00 in the morning and I'm mega banged up and my wife is sleeping on the couch. I'm like, I'm going to turn on Gargano almost. But
I have minutes to myself.
This is an incredible match. This is the type of match that you would show people that don't watch wrestling and be like, this is why
you watch wrestling.
Yeah, this is why I'm into it. This is an incredible.
Well, I'll say this part. The back end obviously is the match itself, but you have to have the precursor. Johnny Gargano and Ciampa were tag team champions, they didn't do so well, and it all broke down. If you give me all that and then show the match.
Also, when you talk about guys that the WWE has left behind who have so much talent, I mean, Andrade Cien Almas has to be at the top of the list. I mean, he has to be at the top of the list. No? Yeah?
2 beer?
I know Zach agrees.
You know how I feel.
I know. This guy gets it.
No.
This guy gets it. TGGI. What?
I'll say this. If Andrade wasn't connected to Charlotte, you would probably have more pushback on Andrade not being around. The fact that he's connected, obviously, with Charlotte, that's why you probably don't have anybody really pissed off.
I don't understand what you're saying, though. He wasn't in the Royal Rumble. Why the fuck isn't Andrade Cien Almas in the Royal Rumble? I mean, why the fuck isn't Andrade Cien Almas the Intercontinental Champion right now? Sorry. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I'll take an Andrade Cien Almas versus Big E fucking feud right fucking now, right?
Big E and Bobby Lashley was one of those highlight moments of the men's Royal Rumble that we've kind of glossed over, that we didn't talk about. And color aside, fuck that shit. That was one of those moments. It's like, mid-card champion. That was a good moment to make it happen.
You know, a lot of people say they don't see color. All I see is color.
This is banned from ringside.
One last thing I want to talk about in odds and ends before we get to birthdays. The McIntyre Edge segment was good. The Sheamus turn was one of the lamest, laziest. Just like, why did they do it like that? Just to have Sheamus go in there and defend him and then bro kick him. It just... There was so much more story there. There was so much more rich text there that they could have done. And to have Sheamus turn on Drew McIntyre like that is really just a fart in the wind. But it also makes me think that Sheamus McIntyre is not happening at WrestleMania, that it'll happen beforehand, and it's going to keep both of them out of Elimination Chamber, which apparently is happening this year.
2 beer?
Yeah, it's just it was a totally lazy turn. It was nothing happening, but it does give us something for Fastlane, I guess. It gives Drew an opponent. And, I mean, they were too busy counting their money this week to count logical inconsistencies on the television show.
I guess I don't think that I asked this question to you guys. Who do you want Edge to face?
I want him to wrestle Roman more than Drew. Because if Roman loses, like, Roman's made. And, I mean, Drew's made to a certain extent, too, but he ain't Roman. And, you know, if Roman's gonna lose, like, a guy like Edge, it doesn't, like, knock him down a peg at all. I mean, they said first ballot Hall of Famer, like, he comes in. You get the spear versus spear thing that you would get with Goldberg, but way less lame. And you're going to get a better match.
Right, it's way better with Edge.
It's so great right now. So I think I want to see him fight Roman. I don't see him doing the NXT thing. I mean, it was it's a fun little pipe dream, but it ain't happening.
I agree with that. I agree with that last part. Jason, what do you think?
NXT is out. Drew seems like the right call. I'm not saying that Edge should go over Drew, but it feels right. In 2010, there was no Universal title, and there was one title, and Edge is, right, wrong, or indifferent. He's on the list of Royal Rumble winners that didn't win the title afterwards.
I think that if I was booking it at this point, if they put me in charge at this point, I would rather have Edge face McIntyre because I would have McIntyre go over Edge. I don't care if Edge is one of the Royal Rumble winners that didn't capitalize. That doesn't matter. I didn't even know that was I've never even heard that stat. I think that to make McIntyre even bigger, if you really want to make a star, which McIntyre clearly is, and I can't wait till he turns heel in the future because he's such a fucking badass.
That will be an interesting heel run.
Having him go over Lesnar, Goldberg, and Edge in a row, and Orton, have him doing those four over a year, seems to me that is a made guy for eternity, basically. I mean, he's always going to be there. And I would rather see Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. And I'm hoping we get Bryan versus Reigns at WrestleMania and Edge versus McIntyre. That's what I'm rooting for. And Balor versus Karrion Kross, to be honest.
I mean, I'll tell you what, if you just say that you want Edge to pick the handsome one, it's pretty much impossible to say who you're talking about.
Yeah, that's right. That's going to do it.
This is Banned from Ringside.
That's a great note to go out on. We got some birthdays this week. We got Chris Sabin is 39. Damian Priest, a.k.a. Punishment Martinez, is 39. Connor is 41, turning 41 just a couple months after his buddy Victor. I hope those guys are doing okay. On the work, yeah, they're working the fry side of Chili's. Big Show is only 49.
What?
Unbelievable. Classy Freddie Blassie is only 103. I think he's dead,
yeah,
though.
I think that's R.I.P.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart, also R.I.P. 65. Not as funny. Sensational Sherry, also R.I.P.
Yeah.
Not as funny.
No,
She's
wear
63.
clothes.
Taishi Ishimori, though, is still
Way
going.
alive. Way alive.
Still kicking.
Yes.
He's 38.
38.
Yeah. 38, 1983.
God bless him.
Hey, everybody, we know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. For F&B Eatery.
Check.
For Bill's Beard Company.
Check.
For Vice.
Check.
For Tender Mahal.
Check.
For Lucha Chris.
Check.
For Murray the Murray Man Murray.
Check.
For Two Beer Zach Pullman. For Jason
Check.
Cornelius Bell, I am
Check.
Bill Vagey. Everybody,
Check.
Black Lives Matter.
Check.
Support your local restaurants.
Check.
Support your local weed dealers.
Check.
And never, ever, ever forget to boo the heels.
Ooh.